The Disappearance of Petros Krommidas. On the morning of April 23, 2025, the Atlantic Ocean along Long Beach, New York, glistened under a soft spring sun. The waves moved gently, rhythmic and unassuming, as if nothing could disturb the calm. But that morning, beneath the surface of tranquility, a mystery began that would baffle authorities, haunt a community, and captivate the nation. Petros Krommidas, a 29-year-old Greek-American and rising star in local politics, had gone missing. He was a candidate for the Nassau County Legislature, known for his energy, ambition, and unwavering commitment to his community. Friends described him as diligent, compassionate, and dedicated, a man whose life was defined by service and progress. That day, he had set out for a routine swim, part of his triathlon training. His bicycle and personal belongings were left neatly on the beach, suggesting a short departure. But Petros never returned. By afternoon, concern had escalated into alarm. Lifeguards, volunteers, and local police launched a search. Helicopters hovered above, drones scanned the shoreline, and boats combed the waters, yet there was no trace of him. Hours stretched into days, and hope began to mingle with fear. What had happened? Was it a tragic accident, the cruel randomness of the sea, or something far more sinister? Petros's disappearance was unusual not only because of the circumstances, but also because of who he was. A public figure, a political candidate whose name and face were familiar across the county. He vanished without a single clue. The community struggled to comprehend the absence. Vigils were held, flyers adorned telephone poles, supermarkets, and local bulletin boards. Media outlets, local and national, reported the story with a mixture of intrigue and sorrow. Social media amplified every detail, every speculation, turning Petros's disappearance into a narrative watched by thousands. His family was devastated. They recounted the last time they saw him, the light in his eyes, his excitement for the upcoming election, his plans for the community he loved. They described him as methodical and disciplined, making it nearly impossible to understand how someone so careful could vanish without warning. Yet that is precisely what happened. No one had seen him enter the water. No one had heard a cry or noticed a struggle. The ocean had swallowed him silently, leaving behind only questions. Investigators faced immense challenges. The Atlantic was vast and unpredictable. Currents, tides, and weather complicated every search effort. Coast Guard vessels scoured the waters, divers inspected the shoreline, and specialized teams used sonar technology in an attempt to locate any sign of a body or debris. Weeks passed. Months passed. Still, nothing. The lack of physical evidence frustrated authorities and fueled speculation. Theories emerged quickly. Some suggested accidental drowning, pointing to the risks inherent in open water swimming. The ocean can be merciless, and even experienced athletes are not immune to its sudden shifts. Others considered foul play, though no suspect or credible lead ever materialized. A more unusual theory proposed a voluntary disappearance, yet all who knew Petros insisted this was inconsistent with his character. He was committed to his work, to his family, to his community. Abandoning everything without notice seemed implausible. As if the mystery of his disappearance were not enough, another layer of complexity emerged: the election. Legally, Petros could not be removed from the ballot unless he was declared deceased. Since the courts had not issued such a declaration, his name remained, leading to an unprecedented scenario. Voters were faced with the option to vote for a candidate who had vanished, while political parties grappled with how to address the uncertainty. The situation captured national attention. Commentators debated the implications of a missing candidate, the legal frameworks involved, and the potential outcomes. Despite the legalities and media frenzy, the human story remained at the center. Friends and family continued to search, hoping for closure, praying for answers. The community rallied, holding vigils along the shoreline where he had disappeared. Every wave, every ripple became a reminder of his absence, a symbol of the unresolved. Children in the neighborhood who had seen him in community events asked questions adults struggled to answer. Petros's disappearance had become more than a missing persons case. It had become a collective wound in the heart of a town. Months later, the case remained open. Authorities continued to investigate leads, review surveillance, interview witnesses, and analyze any new information. Each theory, each tip, was weighed carefully, but nothing definitive emerged. Petros's story had become a study in uncertainty, in the fragility of life, and the enduring impact of disappearance. Through it all, his legacy persisted. The initiatives he championed, the events he organized, the votes he had cast in favor of progress, all of these became a testament to the life he had lived. His name on the ballot symbolized both hope and mystery, a reminder of the strange intersection between politics and human tragedy. Petros Krommidas had vanished, yet he remained present in the consciousness of the community he had served, in the conversations of strangers and friends alike, in the whispers along the beach where he had last been seen. The disappearance of Petros Krommidas remains unresolved. No body, no clear evidence, no explanation. Just the haunting reality of absence, the empty space left in a family, a community, and a political landscape. And while theories abound, from accident to foul play, from voluntary disappearance to the inexplicable forces of nature, the truth remains hidden beneath the ocean's surface, as silent and vast as the waves themselves. And so the story continues, a cautionary tale of ambition, dedication, and the unpredictable fragility of life. A story of a young man who disappeared in the prime of his life, leaving behind unanswered questions, memories, and a legacy that refuses to be forgotten. The case of Petros Krommidas reminds us that even in a world saturated with information, some mysteries remain unsolved, some disappearances remain unexplained, and some stories remain suspended in the delicate balance between hope and despair.